Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing? I do hope you're well. I'm Loxley, Sailor of Strategy, the Capri Card Shark, the board game goat, and I am not usually in the just chatting area of twitch.television. Why the hell am I here? Well, because I recently, my friend, who you may see to my right,
Hello.
this is Leica, the astral author, the right, the woofing writer, the
Flipping writer. That works. That works.
the dog star storyteller. Let's go with those.
All right.
I had those written down. I'm like, I need to come up with some, and then it's like, nope, completely gone from my head. Yeah. So you are a writer. You are somebody I have known for several years in the VTuber community. And yeah, you have recently released a new web novel.
Yes. Technically, it's not super new. I had to delete it from its other posting places to put it in the contest. But it had only been a few chapters anyway, and whatever. Yes, it's Let me. Oh my gosh, I get jitters. I get such jitters.
That is absolutely fine. Well, I mean, I can at least say the name, and I can also tell people, show people what the thing is, because I have a link to the tapas page.
Yeah, if you want to do that, that would be absolutely rad.
No problem.
I'm just trying to find my documents so I can read along with you.
Yeah.
Without having to watch on the screen, and of course, as every writer should, nothing is organized. I also kind of changed the title a little bit, like in all of my drafts. So yeah, I'm always like, shit, which title did I use?
Is it One Small Step? It's One Small Step on Tapas for some reason.
Oh, yeah, I thought it would be better to call it One Small Step as the short URL for it, because I thought it would be funny, because one small step for mankind, one giant step for this idiot.
Well, why don't you tell me about
the document on my computer is saved as frustratingly vanilla demon lord.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
that was the inception of the whole thing too. So
I see.
Frustratingly vanilla demon lord. We love him.
Well, I've not actually said the title. Do you want to give people the title?
Yes. If only this demon lord would step on me. No, if you want to give the proper title, that is absolutely fine. I'm literally like flailing, trying to get my. Oh my gosh, my model is like freaking out. Everything is happening.
It looks
left
fine.
And right.
It's all good. You're doing fine. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me.
Yep. I've been reading this today. It's very fun. I was actually kind of surprised. I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll get that, like chapter 3, because when I asked you about this, you only had two out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll get you sent me chapter 3 as like a little bit of a exclusive, and then jump to this week where I suddenly am like, wait, I suddenly discover you released like 3 chapters in a week.
Yeah, I had a bit of a backlog that I hadn't posted. I was like, I'll just do it. It's I'm not gonna make it to finish for the contest probably, but it'll be fun.
You mentioned the contest twice, and
yeah, sorry. It's True Love on Tapas. It's a romance writing competition, and the whole point, it's got to be a Tapas exclusive. So the web novel / webtoon site, and you have to release 30 chapters by like December 31st. So I'm sitting here with like 5. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, that's
1,500 words minimum per chapter, which is about what I average. And it's just love, which I love.
Yeah, I mean, actually, what I'm seeing so far is that it's quite it's either, I'm not sure if it's just quite complex, or if there is going to be like multiple relationships, but like I'm definitely seeing attraction in the main character to a number of characters.
It's mostly supposed to be fairly comedic attraction, with the exception of the Demon Lord, but I suppose that's also supposed to be the most comedic attraction, because I I don't see him getting together with him quite so quickly.
That's fair. I mean, is 30
Unless they get
chapters
together
enough?
very quickly and then it just doesn't go anywhere because that could as well be a thing.
That's fair. I mean, I think that's I mean, to be honest, it's an interesting thing, concept to explore. Is the idea of, if you are if you are in various ways kinky and you have a vanilla partner, how do you get that resolution?
It's just something that always seemed kind of interesting to explore. I totally agree. It's like this you I have a favorite webtoon. I guess it's a webtoon. Is it a webtoon? Mama? Um I'm really fond of a piece of media that has a similar protagonist, and I guess this is kind of, in a weird way, a love letter to that.
Okay, what is it called?
um, it's super NSFW, so I
I mean,
apologize.
I do not care.
It's called Blood Bank. It's
Okay, cool.
you can find it
It's more for
on.
anybody who's watching and is like, oh,
Fair enough. You can find it on Lesin, I believe is the site. It's the webtoon site that has a little dog mascot, actually. So
Ah.
I found it. I was like, look, it's a puppy. I love this.
That is adorable. Speaking of dogs, so your main character, which we're going to get into active recording this and introducing the characters in a few minutes, but you are a self-described shy bi, ready to cry,
Yes.
who internet dog person, and you have got a somewhat repressed, somewhat dorky, clearly bisexual main character who reincarnates as an anthropomorphic dog demon. Exactly how much of this is projection? Honestly,
He
the
is my
funniest
son, and I
thing
would
you
die
could.
for him. He is my son, and I would die for him.
Was genuinely unsure of, like, the
I
funniest
don't
thing you possibly
know.
could have done then would be just drop the call and never come back. It's like,
Oh my
nope,
god.
I'm out. I'm out.
Peace. Goodbye. Never again. I've been exposed. Oh no.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Again,
I
we're not here to judge. We're not here to. We're just here to gently rib and not
Yeah.
mention anything about public humiliation. But anyway. So I've been kind of trying to work out what the best way to actually show off this today, because there's a number of elements to recording audio. Like, I am a voice actor. In fact, I will plug myself.
Yeah.
I voice act predominantly in audio drama, which I think I have slowly been trying to get you into, but I know you are super busy, and so
I am, but I would love to try working on stuff like this too.
But yeah, I also have spent a lot of this last year. This has been the year where I've really got into audiobooks. I've been listening to audio. I've been listening to audiobooks in the gym, because I don't know if it's like I realize it's that they use different parts of your brain. Like, if you're just lifting things and a very basic count, you're completely separate from the thing that's actually thinking or listening to a
makes
a
lot of
story.
sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I've had some really good experiences this year. I've listened to all of the current Locked Tomb series. Really looking forward to Alecto the Ninth, hopefully next year. I've listened to a couple of classics, two books that I've never read but always kind of wanted to were Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, read by Nick Offerman, which just pitch perfect. And also Count of Monte Cristo, which is just like,
I think we were talking about Count of Monte Cristo on one of my streams a few weeks back.
You were playing Fate,
and I found my copy. I found my copy.
Nice.
So I'm definitely gonna read it.
Yeah.
Hopefully ASAP.
You can. I mean, I think the benefit of certain classics is you can actually get them either really cheap or free, just because they're out of copyright. So generally somebody has done an audiobook version of them. But yeah, it was very that was a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm just reading through a bunch of audiobooks, and it's something I would like to try. And I played around with it. Like I mean I've had some practice because I have a kid. I read stories, um,
Oh,
and yeah, I really like that kind of, it's a very nice thing. Like I was very lucky enough to have a parent who read stories to me as a kid and always did the voices, and it's just a very
aw.
it's a really nice thing to be like listening to a story and just allow yourself to get swept up in it. And yeah, I feel like it's something I've wanted to do something with you for a while that's about like beyond streaming, and so the fact that you now have
Hmm.
a story that's a male protagonist, first person, I don't know, it made sense for me to reach
Hell
out and
yeah.
say, hey, listen, can I
No, I,
record
I
this
really
as an
appreciate it.
audiobook?
I almost cried a little bit. I was like, "Are you
Aw,
kidding? My work, really?"
yeah, I like your work. I really enjoyed
Thank you, thank you.
your other story. I really like Summoned to Have Tea. Why, by the way, why are so many of your stories about getting kidnapped by demon lords?
Ah, we drop a call and never come back.
Hmm. Yep, gotcha. Uh,
Because it's comedy gold. I don't know.
that's
At
fair.
least one of them is reincarnation,
That's true.
kinda. I mean,
That's fair. No, I mean,
yeah, it is.
did I ever? I think I got. I think
I just got bit by an isekai bug and just kind of rolled with it.
I mean, to be fair, Isekai is such a good one for playing with on the internet for web novels
Hmm.
because so many of them are start as web novels anyway. And I
Yep.
think a lot of people who read these kinds of things are also like, okay, yeah, we know like a certain level. I mean, and you can kind of see this with anime releases because there are so many isekais. Like, it's become a bit of a like, yes, some of them have become cliches, but also there's a lot of escapist fantasy that's quite fun with it.
Yes, definitely. Um, and getting to play with the like lit RPG stuff is it's huge on another web novel site.
Hmm.
Um, Royal Road
Okay, yeah,
is
and this is where
the
you sell some of your stuff, right?
no, no.
Oh, is Railroad
I
also free?
wish Royal Road is also free. Um, you can technically pay for their premium to avoid ads, and you can
Hmm.
pay as an author to get advanced analytics. But totally free. They also released an
Ah,
app recently, so you can get it on your phone a lot easier.
cool. Yeah, I need to actually go back and listen to I Was Summoned to Have Tea with the Demon Lord because I read about halfway and then
Oh,
you stopped posting and I was really
I
enjoying it.
did. Oh my gosh. Was that the? I don't remember why I stopped posting. And then I remember I nuked it in favor of the redo, and
Hmm.
then I'm on the third draft right now.
I see.
And so I'm hoping that I can expand it for another contest. Like
Hmm.
if I was debating like, all right, if I end up writing more of steppy one small step,
Hmm.
I could work on that contest, and if not, I could do the other one.
That makes sense.
There is J Novel Club is doing one too.
Ah.
Um, which is more specifically just like a generic web novel contest. Um, and a lot of the writers I'm friends with are kind of giving it a shot too. And
Cool.
we'll do. Hopefully, we'll all do.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, I do realize you only released chapter 23 on Tapas, and there's up to chapter 32 on
oh,
Railroad, so I
okay,
may go and have to have a look at that.
okay, yeah.
Anyway,
I
that's
kind of
off screen
forgot
stuff.
about tapas at one point as I was starting to serialize it because there was just like no traction. Um,
That's fair.
but I think it's the wrong genre for tapas.
Hmm,
It doesn't have enough like. Uh, I feel like the romance does better there,
that's
and
perfectly
the
fair.
adventure does better on Royal Road.
That makes sense. I can dig that. I mean, you go where the audience is, really.
Exactly.
Anyway, shall we get around to actually recording this thing? Because there's a few
Heck
bits like
yeah!
I kind of want to talk about a little bit about if I may, I'd like to talk a little bit
Mm.
about the technical process because I think it's kind of fun. Let's jump over. I'm gonna have to. I just realized I've not actually put you in my Let's Play thing, so give me a second.
Oh,
We'll quickly
all good.
pop you in. Where are you?
You,
There
you,
you are. and pop in. Hello. Oh,
Hello, hello.
have I made you too small? Have I made this too small?
I
Hang on.
think I'm too small,
I think I've got it into a
but
very
I'm
focused
quite small
area.
to begin with, so.
Oh no, why are you? Oh, might help if I actually turn on the if I actually turn on the thing.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. You're there eventually.
Yep.
Sorry, that's me just not turning things, turning you up, turning
Totally, totally fair.
turning things on.
If I don't figure out everything beforehand, I cannot like add things to
That's all right.
stream after the fact.
All
I
good,
just
all
start
good.
freaking out. I'm like, what if my desktop shows up and everyone sees how many icons I have on it? I'd die.
I mean, to be honest, I think the one thing you're after, biggest highest priority is just not accidentally showing your porn, which is technically what we're doing this evening, I guess. But
Yes, indeed.
so again, these are things that I do before I actually start recording when I'm doing audio. But the first thing I'm going to do is a mic check because, in fact, I can kind of demonstrate this. Because I have Audacity. In fact,
Oh, nice.
I have the Audacity to have the screen up right here. Where are you?
Get to
I
see all your waveforms. Ooh la la.
Indeed, indeed. So we put that up. Yeah. So you can see I'm going to go through, and if I just start recording, then like the wave is fine. But if I go particularly loud, I don't want to shout right now. But and I apologize for this, I'm going to quickly
Mhm.
snap my fingers. I have the fancy wave. I have the fancy thing that tells me when I'm going to peak. So this is a bit
Oh,
too loud.
nice.
Also, I think recording then, like the wave is fine,
This is
but
so
if I
cool for me because like I've also I've started trying to give voice acting a little bit of a shot, not in like a real serious wonderful capacity, but enough that like I'm playing with Audacity a little more.
cool.
And
Yeah, I've also just recorded some room tone here, so
oh, perfect.
you can see that's not too bad. But to be honest, I find this particular thing super useful. If I quickly bring up this, I will drop a link for this in
Mhm.
chat. This is surprisingly, this is a free Adobe product. Um,
Yo,
yep, you've got to sign up for an account, but after that, you kind of just oh, that's not what I want to do. There you go.
free
Yeah,
mic
just
check.
literally just lets
Nice.
you check your mic for free, and then go into here, and it's actually really useful information. So like distance to microphone, if you're too close, too far, um, gain,
Oh
background
wow.
noise, and echo. Echo is a bit of a difficult one to deal with because it kind of just depends on what space you're in. But
Yeah.
certainly like background noise, my background noise is generally pretty good because I have an actual isolation hood on my mic. So um, if I turn around here, you'll notice I'm actually super quiet and can't really hear me
Oh.
because this is
Yeah,
I've
there's
just
a little
placed.
more echo that way too.
Yeah, well that's because the sound is not coming. Is There's a very little
Boing boing
hole
boing.
in a
Mm.
big block of foam. So
Ah,
that's what I use when I'm voice acting, just to make sure that there are minimal intrusions of noise, because I cannot afford a home setup with padding in the closet and all this kind of stuff.
oh, man, that would be so cool though.
It would. It would. It's the goal, but it's like, you can start voice acting from a much more straightforward state. Certainly, like if you have the setup to stream or VTube, you probably already have the setup to be a
Yeah.
voice actor. The only thing I would potentially recommend would be like an isolation hood, because it just really, really improve. If you can't put yourself in like a soundproof room, you can at least put your mic in a very small soundproof box.
Mhm.
So yeah, it
Keep that in
says
mind. Hell yeah.
yeah. So basically, this is what I do before every time I record. It's just like, how is my microphone setup and placement? And you can instantly hear I go into my proper microphone, um, my proper mic
Mhm.
skills voice. So yeah, you can see the
Yeah.
gain there is way too high, and this is for podcasts rather than audiobooks, but I think it's very similar. So I'm just going to turn the gain down. which is also going to mean that I'm coming through a little bit less loudly, so I apologize for that. Hopefully, I'm still kind of hitting the usual peaks that I get in OBS, so hopefully this is okay. Anyway, how is my microphone setup and placement? There we go. I tend to like to keep it right on the edge because otherwise...
All
Just turn it
right.
up just a little bit.
Nice.
Hang on.
I'm frankly
How is
amazed
my
by that lack of
microphone
background
setup and
noise.
placement? Pardon?
I'm frankly amazed by that lack of background noise. There's always something happening
Again,
in the
it's
space that
very
I
much
record
just
in.
the fact that I have this. I think you search on like microphone isolation shield. You can pretty much find this thing. It's literally like you can go for the Chaotica eyeball, which is like 140
Ooh.
quid, but then you can also get like the same thing just without the
Hmm.
name attached to it for 19 quid. Like it's
Nice.
literally, yeah. You think it's all like, yeah, vocal microphone isolator. They're really, really useful.
Awesome.
I highly recommend it. I was using it like I was previously using a Blue Yeti. This is, you can also immediately see what my horrible habit of highlighting random words on a page, because that is a thing I do,
I
and
feel that. I feel that.
that's why we're not going to be showing all of the script constantly. Anyway, how is my microphone setup and placement? There we go. That's exactly what I want. So this can go away. This is just my little ritual that I do before I record. And now we're pretty
Hmm.
much entirely on. Actually, I'm going to show you the horrors that I have subjected your scripts to as well.
Oh my gosh, I'm ready.
Because and so this is like I don't know where I got this, but I think I got it from somebody who is a voice actor who records videos on YouTube, um,
Mhm.
and just gives like general tips. In fact, I can tell you his name. It's Bill DeWeese. Really good guy, really talented voice actor, and some of the ideas that he's come up he's got I've got from him have been really good. So if I just quickly change that browser capture to... What? No, that's not the one I want. Uh,
Bum, bum, bum,
will
bum,
that
bum,
work?
bum,
Hang on.
bum.
Yes. So as you can immediately see, this is a horror.
No, not too horrible. I mean,
For reference, this was previously in a serif font. It was single line space. It didn't have any gaps between the paragraphs, and it was it was actually page width. This, if anybody's interested, is don't go there, don't go there, stop it. Um, this is the page setup with statement, which is literally the narrowest I can get. The reason being
ooh,
is that
okay.
whilst I have this isolation hood on, the amount that I can turn my head is fairly limited, because if I turn my head, you're gonna start to hear different levels of sound. Whereas if I keep my head still, I'm gonna be it's gonna be a much more consistent read, which is gonna
That's
make...
kind of cool.
Yeah, well, it's again,
So what
it's
you're
because
saying is I need a chapter about an isolation hood.
the chapter that you write about an isolation hood, I'm gonna guess, is gonna be very, very distinct.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I look forward to reading it, but anyway, I'm not gonna have this up because the other thing I have done is just go through and highlight the characters that are speaking, and they are highlighted in different colors. That just gives me a general opportunity to keep things consistent, so I know, like, because each character is going to have a voice, because there are, and I have noticed you've done this, you have a few instances where there is the general um, conversation. There's no instances of having um, the adjective or
Hmm.
describing. So there is. I need to make sure that the voice for death here and the voice for the main character are going to be really distinct, which is honestly like 90% of the reason why I wanted you here. The other 10% is pronunciation guides. Um,
Fair.
because when this is the thing with fantasy, if you have an author who's writing fantasy and they are making up words, you are suddenly just like,
Nope.
how? What is this word? What is this meant to be?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so I think in the first few chapters, but I'm going to go back to here whilst we're chatting because I can just make notes rather than have anything particular. Like the big, so a lot of the characters kind of um give their voices. You're actually, I will say, you're excellent at kind of giving a very clear idea as to what characters sound like.
Oh, thank you.
You're very descriptive in how they sound, and also but also some of them are going to be colored by my general cultural background. It's like, oh, this is kind of a fun little this character is a bit like this, so I could make it like this. And also, I come from the UK, which is somewhat class focused, and as a result, it does mean that the demon lord is going to have quite a deep voice and quite a posh register. You wouldn't be
Mhm.
calling that, you wouldn't be using this voice for the demon lord because this doesn't really sound like a demon lord. This sounds like you come from Merseyside, and that's because I do. Um, but it does allow me to have a few different things. For example, in chapter 2, you have the Doberman character. Is it Argos or Argos?
Argos.
Argos. Okay, that's good because otherwise I would be very thrown because Argos in the UK is a shop chain.
Oh,
It's like a not a department store. It's like a catalog store.
oh, go
But yeah,
figure.
the first thing I thought, like, he's a Doberman, so and you literally have a gruff voice barked as a description. Um, so the obvious one would be somewhat back of the throat, somewhat uh, aggressive, somewhat barking, somewhat short, sharp. But the thing is, there's kind of a fun little illusion I can do here, and this is very much my own this is personal indulgence, frankly. So you can very much choose the voices that you want for these
Mm.
characters, because a somewhat gruff but overall kindly officer type is actually there's a pretty standard character in the UK who fits that, which is the character of Richard Sharp, played by Sean Bean. So we could go for a bit more gruff and a bit more northern. It's not going to have the same.
Oh.
It's not going to have the same growl, but it could. It does
Mhm.
kind of. It's a thing that fits. That fits. But ultimately, it decide. Plus, you get some really good swearing because it's like everyone knows of Sean Bean from like winter is coming. They don't. They. But I swear, in Sharp, he had special contractually obligated bastards. Um,
Contractually obligated bastards. I gotta remember that.
I swear he demanded those things be put in.
That's amazing.
Anyway, so yeah, it's very much which would you prefer?
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh my gosh.
I
Because I
mean,
mean
the other benefit of that
the
one is that it does kind of let me use the other voice for another character somewhere down the line, because ultimately the goal here is that each character has a distinct voice. Each character has I can bring characters back and have them recognizable from their voices.
hmm Would it be wrong to say that voice might the the northern type voice might suit the dragon a little more?
Okay,
The
yeah,
healer?
that absolutely works. We can definitely do that. That is not a problem.
Hmm.
And then the other one that we have today, I mean, there will be a slightly robotic voice for the assigned one skill point to learn.
I love that.
And I think we've got a third person introduced in chapter 3, which is uh, is it is it Matisse or Matisse?
I would I have this problem where I really love Greek mythology, but I don't have any clue of how to pronounce it, so I kind of grab names that sound like they belong in that, but I don't
Mhm.
know. So I
Well, you're
I
the
think of
author,
it with a hard S, but
Matisse. And actually,
yeah,
yeah, is it
like
that
Metis,
Metis? Okay, that
I
we can
think.
work with. That is absolutely fine. I again just wanted to check. And then the most important one, who I have not addressed yet, is of course in the first episode. In the first, actually, I guess so. I should explain myself. There is one character I'm not discussing, which is Matsuo, who
Yes.
is the protagonist. The thing there is, it makes most sense generally for me to read Matsuo in my standard voice. So my normal voice, my normal speaking voice and register, because he's the person I'm going to be speaking as most. The narrator, it's just a more comfortable experience
Oh,
to
definitely.
to read and to listen to when I'm kind of doing this voice, which is very straightforward and I hope fairly clear. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, as a result, Matsuo will have my voice, and then everything else will be a variant. Um, the what I really want to know is death, because death is you have written a very distinct death to my mind. You have written death as a bit more as a bit of a bureaucratic twink. Is that a fair statement?
That is absolutely fair. I had the word twink on the tip of my tongue. I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna say it if you didn't.
Excellent.
Death is yeah. Death is just like he's the one that you would ask to delete your browser history. That's why he does it. He
Okay,
just he's reliable.
so the thing is, I come from something of a tradition of Pratchett and Gaiman, and where death is a very serious and voiced by voiced by not Ian McKellen, the other, the late great
Oh, oh wow, my brain just blanked. I know exactly who you're talking about though.
yep, no, it's the he played Saruman,
Yeah. Um,
and
oh
also
my
released
god. What?
released a metal
And
released a metal act. Christopher Lee.
there we
There
go.
we go. To some extent, in my brain, death is always voiced by Christopher Lee. By Christopher Lee. He's
That's
very serious and
really rad,
somber,
honestly.
which I don't think would I don't
But
feel that this
his
voice
death
would
is
necessarily
his
work
death
for
is so
your.
silly.
Yep. No, it's absolutely okay. I feel like he's going to be a little bit softer, a little bit softer spoken, um, slightly nervous, slightly wavering.
Hmm.
Like, how did
I
it?
can, yeah, that's kind of perfect, honestly.
Okay, brilliant. Well, in that case, I think we have everything that we need. So we can jump over to here, get our WhatsApp. Not WhatsApp. WhatsApp? What? Audacity. That doesn't even. That barely even contains the same words. What am I doing?
Shit, my nerves are catching.
To be honest, we actually slightly bigger on this screen today because there is there is not a lot of real estate being used by Audacity.
Oh,
Um,
I'm large. I'm
yep,
so
that's
large
fair.
now.
Well, I figured there's no real um, benefit. So what I'm going to do is I am
I'll make sure
going
to
to.
change up my expression. How's that?
Nice.
Is it doing anything? I
I
don't.
mean,
Oh, ah,
you got a very
there we go.
smile. You very smile. Um, yeah. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start reading. Um, if I flub a line, I will just go back to the beginning of that line and I will take it again. If there is anything that I like is super off, or I'm not expecting you to come in and be like the greatest director or anything like that. So and also there is something I'm very much looking forward to. This because I believe this is you were saying off stream that this is the first time you have had your work read aloud in a setting that's not like a creative writing class.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I always find,
I've kind of read my stuff like a little bit, but that's totally not the same.
oh, absolutely. I think I don't know. I think I find like particularly working in audio drama. what I have found is that there is something deeply, deeply endearing about how various how writers react when they are hearing words that they've previously only really heard aloud in their own voice or their own head. Um, Hear it read by other people for the first time and hear that interpretation.
Hmm.
So, really looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, you are not in any way connected to Audacity, so if you have anything to add, you absolutely can. If there's anything I get super wrong, please do let me know. But yeah, ultimately, what I really want is to make sure that the pace that I'm reading at is good for you. So,
Okay.
if there's one note that you want that I can ask you to go for, like just keep an eye on the pace.
Okay. Gotcha, gotcha.
Right, let me quickly bring this up and we will start recording. Okay. Fortunately, I've been talking for the last half an hour, and now hopefully my voice should be nice and warmed up.
Mm.
I do have a drink next to me as well, just in case, just to be on the safe side.
Hmm.
And as you can see, we are recording. Um, you know what I really should have done? I should have actually included in my chapters the name of the damned story because I didn't actually do that. That was foolish.
I'm sorry, I gave you the those
It
documents
is
real
absolutely fine. I can just
real quick.
quickly. That's all
Um,
good. It's all
so
good.
yeah, I've written Scrivener, which doesn't really export very easily to anything else.
Ah,
But it's really great for web novels because it's got this really organized chapter by chapter kind of thing.
cool. Yeah, I get that. I've recently, without going into too much detail, I have recently started writing my own audio drama project, and
Yeah.
yeah, as a result, I am using what is it? Is Notepad? I can't remember what I'm using, but there's like a specific script writing online piece of software which does like lots of
Ooh, I would be
formatting.
really interested in knowing what that is because I need
Yeah,
to upgrade my copy of Final Draft, and if I
I
don't do
will
that
send
soon, I'm gonna.
I will send it over. I don't think it's not Final Draft. That was one that was recommended to me. In
I love
fact,
it.
I
It's great.
believe. In fact, give me one second. I can find exactly what it is in just a second or two. Just need to grab the person who. Where are you? There we go. Dip, dip, dip. Write a duet is the one
Oh,
I'm.
okay. Yeah, I've heard that's really good too.
Yeah, I'm currently just still using the free version, but yeah, it's a very straightforward thing to use with lots, and particularly for script writing, it's quite
Hmm.
it's pretty intuitive because you
I mean,
can.
you need that format, and if you don't have the format,
Yeah, it's actually
like,
fascinating
and anything
to.
that allows you to do that is great.
Yeah, and otherwise you are stuck just like trying to force that format in like Google
That's a
Docs, which does not
nightmare.
work.
God. Indent, 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 indent. God, what
Hmm.
people had to do before these programs.
I know, absolutely. Um, a quick thought actually, whilst we, because I'm actually going to stop this recording because
Yeah,
this is just 2.5 minutes
sorry.
of absolute bunk. No,
Totally.
it's fine. You don't have to apologize. I'm the one wasting time. Um, how do you want this? How do you want the introduction to go? Because obviously, usually it'll be the title by and read by.
Mhm.
Do you have a full? Is it just Leica as a?
It's just like a, yeah.
Okay, absolutely fine. And that's fine. And I'll just yeah, would you prefer me to record this as Vic Collins or as
Whatever
Loxley?
you want to do.
Okay,
Whatever
fair
you
enough.
want to do.
Let's do Loxley because I could
It's a little weird. So if you don't want it with your real name, that's totally fine.
honestly not even the weirdest thing I've done. Don't worry about it. It's all fine.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyway, we'll just do a quick record of this. 1 second. Like, I'm not necessarily expecting this to go on like Audible Originals, but hey, you know what? Why not? I'm now trying to work out because I'm now. Oh, hang on. I've got to. I did a silly in terms of actually I should start this just recording because if it gets a little bit of dead air, I'll just snap my fingers before I start. Anyway,
Mhm.
so now that also you can see how immediately that snap is no longer being applied, no longer quite as significant
Oh
in
wow,
the
yeah.
yeah. So that's just the gain. I don't know like how much that's changed the amount of how my voices come across. I hope it's still fairly clear on both audio and everything else, but
I mean, sounds good on the Discord call. So
marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Glad to hear it. Anyway, so yeah, I'll just quickly start this and then do a quick snap of the fingers before just to try and make sure I've got a little bit of division. Anyway, let me see. No matter how much I
making
beg,
silly faces.
this demon lord won't step on me. By Leica. Read by Loxley. Chapter 1. I think death's a bottom. I regarded the words and images before me as if they were coming from a sacred manuscript. Each perfectly drawn part of the human body and each brilliant line of dialogue in the speech bubbles seemed to echo through my very soul. It was a delusion that I'd read several times before and had very nearly committed to memory. And so, death found me enraptured, with my pants around my ankles, one hand on my mouth, one hand on my mouse, and the other down my pants. He was kind of a short man, and he carried himself with an almost timid air as he coughed softly to catch my attention. With pale skin, black hair, and eyes that seemed to swallow me up, he certainly had a supernatural appearance. Even at this distance, I could read the name tag on his button-down shirt. Hello, I'm Death. I looked up from the computer, and the blood drained from my I looked up from the computer, and the blood drained from my face as I saw his unfamiliar figure. I'm sorry, he said, but I've come for your soul. What? Unbearably dizzy and hyper-conscious of every part of my body, I tried to stand, but my legs collapsed beneath me, and I fell to the floor. Let me help you, he continued, extending a hand towards me. In a haze, I began to wonder if I'd been thrown into some sort of supernatural porno. Sans pants in front of my computer. Sans pants in front of my computer,
That
reaching
was
for.
a bad line. I'm so sorry. Just without I will just change it in my draft.
It's absolutely fine. You don't have to. Uh,
I I
so the thing is, what I tend to do is I do ad lib a bit, which I'm very much trying, which I very much am resisting the urge to do in this because you have published this. This is what's on the internet. You should be I should be sticking to the author's vision. So, but if you want to change it right now, I think this is also an interesting one because there is going to be a degree to which you'll be like I guess there can be elements where like, oh, I'm suddenly hearing how certain things I have written
hmm. I
are
mean
when said
this
aloud.
is very much like a first draft that just got published as a first draft.
That's
So
absolutely fine. So you want to change that to
I'm
without?
just gonna change it to without pants because it sounded funnier in my head, I
That's
think.
absolutely fine. Okay, that's
I
absolutely fine.
appreciate you.
Okay. In a haze, I began to wonder if I'd been thrown into some sort of supernatural porno. Without pants in front of my computer, reaching for the hand of a stranger? Weirder things had never happened to me, and probably would never happen to me again. It's not that he was my type per se, but the fact that he held power over me was undeniably frustrating. I shook my head, trying to ignore my low-key attraction, though I still accepted the offered help. My belt buckle clanged conspicuously, sending my thoughts into a downward spiral. Disgusting, I imagined the man might say, unable to ignore the sound. I tried to pull up my pants, but he'd shake his head and smirk. The expression would seem out of place on his face, but somehow that would make it all the better. Leave them down. What? Don't look so surprised. You were the one looking for some excitement, right? I'll do a better job than your hand. Please. And then he'd reach down. Instead, a gentle voice mumbled my name. Matsuo, can you hear me? Are you okay? So much for my pornographic delusions. Probably, I said. Almost gave me a heart attack, though. The man looked a little sheepish. Not almost. My mouth was dry. My eyes darted around the room, coming to a stop on the body slumped over the keyboard. My body. Shit. You're screwing with me, I said dumbly. You're screwing with me. You're screwing with me, I said dumbly. I'm afraid not. No, absolutely not. No way. My voice cracked. This is just a fucked up dream. Hey, wake up, me! I tried to shake the body's shoulders, but my hands passed through it. A chill overtook me, and then a familiar hot flush of utter mortification. Death by masturbation? Not technically, my visitor clarified. Not technically, my visitor clarified. I believe you barely even got hard. I'm sorry for enjoying the plot. So what if I'd never had the chance to die the little death? It's not like orgasm was the be-all end-all. Anyway, goodbye my boring college days. Hello afterlife. Can you at least pull my pants up? I think I'd die again if my roommate found me this way. I really shouldn't interfere. You gave me a heart attack while my hand was on my dick. You don't consider that interference? We stared each other down for a long moment, until, finally, Death gave in. He pulled my pants up and even refastened my belt. I looked like a perfectly ordinary man who'd fallen asleep at his computer. And delete my browser history too, I added, remembering exactly what keywords I'd followed. You're awfully bossy, Death mumbled, but he started clicking around nonetheless. You're looking! I knew my face had to be right. Ah, fuck. Sorry, this is my worst habit. Is
I'm
just
so sorry.
It's
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
It's fine.
My words are breaking you. No.
Honestly, more words have broken me before. It's more just that thing of when you talk continuously for a while, you start to stumble.
Legit.
You're looking. I knew my face had to be bright red. Don't look. Oh. Death was blushing harder than I'd ever seen a man blush in my life. This is Watase-sensei's work. Wait, you know Watase-sensei? Is it Watase? Wait.
What's that say?
Yeah. Wait, you know Watase-sensei? Yes, well. Is the rumor true? What? He looked nervous. The reason they haven't released anything new in a year. Did they really meet with a terrible fate? That information is protected under Reaper Spirit confidentiality, he said quickly. Ah, my face fell. I'll pour one out for my good sensei. But I didn't say anything. Of course you didn't. He took a few deep breaths before closing the offending tab and navigating to my browser settings. All right. Regardless, it's solidarity between brothers. There it was. The sweet blank slate of a clean history. My roommate would never know what kind of deviant had been living under his roof. So, is this it? I asked. Am I doomed to float around my shitty apartment until the end of time? Or is there something else? I was getting to that, Death responded quietly. We don't have a lot of time, so I'd better take you to the character creator for you to customize your new self. Character creator? New self? You don't think I'd reincarnate a brother-in-arms into some random body, did you? Death was surprisingly loyal to the cause. Besides, determining some of your attributes for yourself will cause a greater rate of synchronization with your new world and keep the fabric of reality from tearing. Did you just casually say something terrifying? He ignored me and continued. You'll keep your memories, of course, but you'll be transferred into a new body of your choosing. Death waved a hand, and suddenly a VR visor fell into my hands. He gestured for me to put it on. Sorry.
Oh,
Repeated
gosh.
word.
No, it sniffle. You
No,
okay?
it's all right. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Sorry, I always stumble when there's like repeated words in a sentence.
Oh no.
It's not a big deal.
Ah.
Again, it's a habit that I can play with in audio drama, less so in audiobook.
Hmm.
Death waved a hand, and suddenly a VR visor fell into my hands. He gestured for me to put it on. A silhouette appeared in front of me. I could manipulate menus and sliders on the left side with a wave of my hand. The first slider determined the figure's height. The second phased a skin color into view on the blank slate of a body. I toyed with weight and muscle tone too, shaving a few pounds off and blessing myself with a swordsman's physique. Eyes? Red, please. Nose? Average. Mouth? Let's add a little fang. 20 minutes passed before I settled on a hairstyle. Death was starting to look a bit uncomfortable, but I continued with my customizations. The default on the race menu was human, which was probably the.
If you gotta stop at any point, like, please, I feel bad.
Honestly, it is absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I am just. It's more just I feel like I'm starting paragraphs too quickly. So I want to.
I'm not really noticing anything too quick, but I also read super fast.
That's absolutely
So
fine. I mean,
I don't know if it's.
It's no problem at all. It's more just it's more my inner director just trying to keep me and realistically between paragraphs is not as much of an issue because I can kind of increase the spacing in post.
Yeah, and these are just really dense paragraphs too.
It's fine. Like I have dealt with denser scripts. I have one particular writer particularly on this season of Breathing Space who has just become so used to me that he has started to deliberately throw in the most ludicrous sentences just because one, he knows I can do it, and two, it's fun to hear me talk.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway. The default on the race menu was human, which was probably the safest pick with its balanced stats. I think there's also just like because I'm reading I have read this out beforehand, but how you read something in your head often is different from how it reads to when you're actually performing it.
Yeah.
The default on the race menu was human, which was probably the safest pick with its balanced stat allocation. That is just a difficult sentence to say.
That is bad. I'm sorry.
It's not bad. It's just difficult to pronounce because it's lots of contrasting syllables.
I'm trying to make a. Wait, where's the face? There we go. That's the face for balanced stat allocation. You'd think I would remember my hotkeys by now, but I don't.
It's all good. It's all good. The default on the race menu was human, which was probably the safest pick with its balanced stat allocation. But as I scrolled through the options and the body in front of me altered itself to fit the criteria, I found it harder and harder to make a decision. Everything just looked so damn cool. Finally, I had narrowed it down to 3 choices, not including sub-races, which I honestly hadn't even looked at yet. Beastman had sky-high constitution, and I couldn't deny it. Beastman had a sky-high constitution, and I couldn't deny the appeal in having ears and a tail. Maybe a collar would be the default starting equipment. While Dragonkin was all about attack strength, its distinct lack of humanoid features might Oh, okay. Again, I'm just trying to. I'm realizing where the commas are and how these sentences go together as I'm reading them.
Gotcha. Also, I am so sorry that I'm like really comma happy. Like all the
Honestly,
time.
commas are really great because it does mean you get a chance to actually breathe. Because generally, it's like you take a small breath when you're at a comma, longer breath at a full stop. So it's honestly not a bad thing. Like in a lot of ways, I probably would have like added something like this in myself for my own markdown, just to give myself that break. Anyway, I think it's also just one of those things where it's like, because it starts with Beastman and then it's like it seems to be like a direct comparison, whereas now I'm reading it out loud. It's the comparison is with something later rather than the previous, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. To be honest, I might just take this from here. I'm going to start from the default. The default on the race menu was human, which was probably the safest pick with its balanced stat allocation. But as I scrolled through the options and the body in front of me altered itself to fit the criteria, I found it harder and harder to make a decision. Everything just looked so cool. Everything just looked so damn cool. Finally, I had narrowed it down to 3 choices, not including sub-races, which I honestly hadn't even looked at yet. Beastman had sky-high constitution, and I couldn't deny the appeal in having ears and a tail. Maybe a collar would even be default starting equipment. While the Dragonkin was all about attack strength, its distinct lack of humanoid features meant it might be tough to fit in. Demon, with its high magic stat, did contrast the swordsman persona I'd been building. I did like the idea of specializing in both. Both was always better. Once I'd selected Demon again, the sub-menu opened. There was a traditional hellbent demon with an ugly face, wicked black horns, and a spade-tipped tail. There was the royal demon with more noble features. Desire was my third option, which improved my physique. And last was Bestial, which seemed to be a hybrid race. This sub-race was further divided into Hellcat and Hellhound, so I naturally opted for the latter. My new body was humanoid, yes, but the sinewy muscle definition was incredible. When I spun the camera around to inspect the figure's backside, I watched the furry tail wag back and forth. As for the horns, I honestly didn't pay much attention to changing them from their shortish default state. As for the horns, I honestly didn't pay much attention to changing them from their shortish default state. We're running out of time. Death's voice interrupted my reverie. Please move on to the class selection screen. I'm sorry for the rush, but you have 5 minutes. I'm sorry for the rush, but you have 5 minutes before you'll automatically transfer into your new body. Damn it, Death! I swore under my breath. There was no way I'd be able to read all of this information in only 5 minutes. I had to zoom out to 30% before the whole flowchart would fit into my field of view. It was a detailed map of how each base class promoted. It was a detailed map of how each base class promoted into each advanced class, with a helpful indication of required items, levels, and even minimum stat requirements. Skimming through some of the usual suspects like Knight and Caster, I found one by the name of Wildcard. It prioritized the luck stat, opened up a tree of randomized magic abilities, and could promote to almost anything. With 15 seconds left, all I had to do was stay on this goddamn screen. You think I'd be able to manage something simple like that, right? Right? A tickle started in my nostrils. My mouth opened and my eyes closed. Ah, ah. As I sneezed violently, the visor came loose and began to fall. My hands flew up to catch it, and in the process, I made a gesture for swiping to the next. Screen. By the time I got the visor back on, the countdown clock read 0, and the screen was frozen on the description of lackey. Oh, fuck. Ah, fuck. I don't suppose I get a do-over? I asked Death. He shook his head. The synchronization has already begun. I took the visor off, and before I took the visor off, and before I could even bid my brother in filth goodbye, the world around me changed forever. Whew. So that's about 20 minutes.
Wow. Wow, shit. That's thank you so much. That was super cool. That was amazing. Holy crap.
As I say, there is something very adorable and endearing to an author hearing their work read aloud by a professional for the first time.
Ah.
It's fine. I've been talking for 20 minutes. You can absolutely give insight, input, or just generally flail if you would like.
I kept triggering my little blushy expression. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is.
It's very interesting. I can't look at the screen because obviously I'm trying to keep my my face very still.
Yes. So,
Plantix, hello. How are you doing? Audiobook recording. Indeed, we are recording. What's the name? No matter how much I try, this demon lord won't step on me. By Leica. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me.
hi, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Oh, I should give you a shout out, by the way. I mean, your name is highlightable in the thing, but I should also give you a shout out. There we go. Go check out Leica. Leica's great.
Oh, that's me. Oh no.
Yeah. Leica is an author who I've known for several years.
Hello.
And
yeah, my God, time flies.
Oh, I know.
Wow. Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, like, starting as a VTuber and being a VTuber now is just like, what? What happened?
I mean, we're basically veterans at this point.
Right? It's so weird.
Like,
I do not feel like it.
I always have that terror of like, who have I not spoken to for a while? It's like, because I know there's some people who have decided to, you know, either stop streaming or stop VTubing, and like,
yeah.
I think actually, you know, at 2 years, you and I have been going for, you know, we're kind of in it for the long haul at this point.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, it's a hope. So.
I know I had a lot of stopping and starting at the beginning for myself, but
I mean, I think everyone is allowed to take time for themselves. I mean, and you know, I'm not making any criticism of people who have stopped VTubing or streaming.
But it's such a nice respite from like your job and everything.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, it's fun to be to be a silly cartoon person on the internet.
It is. It truly is.
And it does seem to be like all the fun weirdos rock into it.
Yes, absolutely.
VTubing is pretty fun indeed. Yes, absolutely. There's a feed. I'm now on Blue Sky, and that's my primary social media. And there is a thread called Queer VTubers, which is basically just
I found that one, and I was able to follow it. So
which is basically just all VTubers.
Definitely.
Or at least all the
Definitely,
most the vast
definitely.
majority of the ones I enjoy hanging out with.
Hmm.
A nice break from reality
Hmm.
with a bunch of positive freaks. Absolutely.
One of us, one of us.
Hell yeah. But yeah, we are currently so. Um, yeah. Do you have any? Was there anything you were reading along with that? So was there anything that was particularly egregious? Anything you would like changed? Anything that you would like to?
I
Um,
don't think there's anything I'd change
mm-hmm,
because honestly, I hadn't necessarily thought about how it would sound out loud.
mm-hmm.
It's
I
mostly
mean,
just me like beating myself up over words that made you stumble.
you never have to do that. That is more a case of that's just the nature of anything. Like I have there are
Fair.
so many instances where I had a recording session last weekend where I none of us none of us got out alive. It
Oh
was just this
wow.
horrible thing where I don't know whether some of us were tired, some of us were just having a bit of a time. One guy
Mm.
was sick with COVID. One guy had spent the day
Oh,
6 hours reading an audiobook, and all of us
jeez.
were just like, "Oh, this is what came out of it was really good, but it was very much stop and start for stop and start rather than." Sometimes you get those sessions where you just you flow through and it really
Mm.
works, but then sometimes you're fighting your own voice and your tiredness, etc. It
Gotcha,
is
gotcha.
it is
I
absolutely
um I used to work on like in a crew capacity, not as a writer, but used to work on a lot of student films like ages and ages and ages ago.
uh-huh.
So I kind of know a little bit about the acting, but not really the
Hmm.
voice acting.
I mean, I think they're very similar. Like ultimately,
They seem
voice
like
act.
they are.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, to be honest, the reason I do I prefer voice acting is more a body image thing in very much the same way that
Oh, I feel that.
I don't I'm not a face streamer because of body image stuff. Um,
Mhm.
I'm I it's one of those things. I simultaneously think I'm very attractive, but then I hate having cameras on me because
Right?
I'm
It's
I'm
like
under
do not
much less.
perceive.
Yes, absolutely,
You will be destroyed if you perceive. Oh my gosh, that
absolutely.
reminds me. This is a totally random
No, go for
diversion,
it.
but are you familiar with a cryptid called the squonk?
I am not. I feel I'm
It
about
like
to be.
lives in Pennsylvania,
Uh
so I
huh.
don't think there's any real reason for you to know it out since you're not like US based.
No, I mean
But
the British cryptids are also are very weird. We've got Mr. Blobby. So
I don't think I know that one. But the
oh
the
my god,
squonk,
I was joking. I will.
oh, you're joking. Okay, I
No,
I
no,
would
no.
believe it. I'd completely believe it.
We do have cryptids, but I think ours are mostly Fey. Mr. Blobby
Oh,
is not
that's really
is
cool though.
is not actually a cryptid. Mr. Blobby is far more. It's just it's a. I'm gonna just send you things about
Yes.
Mr. Blobby. It's one of these
Hell
things which
yes.
it's kind of a collective trauma of the British psyche.
Oh
Um,
no.
which you wouldn't think possible from just a guy in a mascot costume, but no, he
I
lives there. He
I'd believe
permanently
it from
there.
a mascot costume, yeah.
Hmm. But
The
yes, please tell me
squonk
about the
is
yes.
the prettiest creature that is so ugly, just so just awful that it doesn't want to be perceived, and it
Hmm.
will cry itself out of existence. It will dissolve into a puddle of its own tears.
Oh wow.
It just it I feel it in my bones. Like, do not look at me, I will cry, and then I will just shoo, no more. I love the squonk. It's just it's like I never lived anywhere near it, but I read a short story about it,
Uh huh.
and so I was indoctrinated into the lore of the squonk quite early on.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I think for us, I think the UK is far more. We have lots of traditions of Fae and various um pixies and goblins as part of the
So cool though.
traditions. I think partly is a combination of mixing interactions between the various folklores of people who migrated or traded or um,
Mm.
or invaded. Sorry, I forgot that last one. We mostly done that to other people, but yeah, we learned it from the rest. We learned it from other people. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I think that's kind of where cryptids come from. I feel cryptids are kind of feel like a very American thing, is like a kind of
They
young
kind of
country
are.
compared to like I feel like cryptids in other in like older countries tend to be just folklore.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really bad at having folklore of our own, us
I mean,
USians.
I don't know. I've read American Gods.
I mean, there's some stuff that makes sense, but it's usually more like it's so random the cryptids you find out here.
Hmm, absolutely. Um, they're not too creepy over
Sorry
there
for
in
that
Eastern.
tangent.
It's absolutely fine. Also, Plantix and Leica, if you like kind of contemporary cryptids, may I direct you to both the SCP archives and also Mayfair Watchers Society. Mayfair Watchers Society is from the mind of Trevor Henderson, who is the guy behind various creepy edits, including Siren Head, and
Oh, okay.
he has produced an entire well, we're now into season 2 of Mayfair's Watchers Society, which is about the town of Mayfair and the people who are trying to look at all the weird shit that goes on in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm in both. I am bloody disgusting. I am I'm very proud of that. That I've done some absolutely fantastic work with them this year, and please do
Nice.
go and check out my the stuff that I'm in, and also the stuff that other people are in, because yeah, a bunch of people who frequent my chat are writers and voice actors, and it's a lot. The episodes are so good. They're such good. It's such good horror
Nice.
and fun and interesting to
It's
both.
a great premise, it
Mm,
sounds like.
yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so
Hmm.
before we went on to cryptid talk, was there anything else you wanted to think? Was there anything you particularly noted what in the read of chapter one? Because like usually I would do a few takes, but I think because of the sheer
Mhm.
length of the book and the audio, I will tend not
Yeah.
to do that in this instance. If there are specific issues, I will go back and re-record, but
Mhm.
unless there's something that's fundamentally wrong with the audio, I will not be like starting from scratch necessarily.
I honestly, I don't think there was anything to do over in any capacity. Like you killed it, dude.
Thank you.
Ah.
I appreciate it.
Man, I just wow. That was super cool. Um
I'm very
I
glad you like. I mean, fundamentally, that's what I want you to get out of this. I want this to be a positive experience for you as well,
Mhm.
because ultimately this is your story. I do want to make it do put like a good make a good effort on it.
I really appreciate that. Like I know I said this before we started the stream, but like it really meant a lot that you reached out about this.
I mean, you may notice if you go back through our various chats over the years, I have been trying to find reasons to work with you for a hot minute.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Like,
bad at doing stuff.
God, every time it's an apology. It's like, no, that's not the takeaway here.
I will do
Bloody
stuff with you. It will be
new
amazing.
rolled up newspaper for you.
Oof.
I'm not here to extract apologies from you. I'm here to
Okay.
say I think you're a very cool person. I'm very glad you're my friend. I would like to do like work with you outside of
Hell
just
yeah.
streaming and games, because whilst I love this, my passion is very much voice acting, and this is where my passion, I
Mhm.
hope, comes through.
And honestly, big same. Like this is fun, but like the writing is my heart.
Phantasmal Gamer, hello, just lurking a bit. Well, I hope
Hey,
you have a
oh
wonderful time.
dude,
Oh, is this one of is
that is
this
one of my bros.
nice? Hello, welcome, welcome. Well, I'm just about to start reading chapter 2. So I think we'll roll straight into that, and I do
Hmm.
hope that you enjoy. Um, where we get to meet to have our first encounter with the Demon Lord and also Argos, because I like Argos. He seems like a really nice character. I'm looking forward to. To be honest, the like whilst the Demon Lord obviously is a big thing, I feel in the first few chapters
Hmm.
he seemed very distant and disinterested.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's kind of the vibe I
I'm
was
very
going for.
interested in the supporting cast, as it were.
Hmm.
Because
Hell
and yeah,
yeah.
particularly like the like I'm not sure we'll get to her today, but is it I do not even know how to pronounce her name, the mouse character.
Oh gosh, yeah, that doesn't
Galina,
seem.
Galini. There are so many
Go.
possible pronunciations.
Yeah, I'm still not sure exactly. I'm like, this sounds good. I'm gonna roll with it. I regret everything.
It's fine. Okay, so let me have a quick drink.
Hmm.
It's such a weird thing when because I'm very used to voice acting, but it is a very different beast to be like continuously reading for.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not. I'm hoping my voice is not sounding too different than when I started.
No.
Excuse me.
Although I am thinking it might be smart to cut it after this to chapter 2.
Oh no, I mean I think
Just
we can. I think
like
we
in
can
the
carry on. It's
spirit
just
of
like
keeping your voice.
it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. We'll see. You're not the type to listen to audiobooks or podcasts. You memorize things better by sight, but I'm an exception. Oh, thank you very much, Plantix. I really appreciate it. Like by comparison, I struggle to read. I like the reason I have got into audiobooks as a medium is because I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks this year. I think they're so cool. I think they're such a nice way to experience literature and nonfiction for that matter. Yeah, I've read some nonfiction as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just like Plantix. I read fast and I absorb words just like through my eyes and I lose interest sometimes when I'm listening, but like your voice is captivating, dude.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, by comparison, I think I have ADHD, which means that anything involving me sitting down and focusing on words on a page is a struggle.
Totally fair.
Anyway, we're gonna go over and do ties that bind. So so I'm going to do something that is going to look terrifying. I can assure you, I have saved I have saved this audio. In fact, I'm going to double check and look that I have saved this audiobook. Oh, that is empty. Why is that empty? That is not what I
Oh
want to.
no.
That's not what I want to see. It's fine. It's fine. I did not, in fact, delete the thing yet. So it's because I didn't. I still had the. I was still in the process of saving it. So, uh, uh I'm also going to call this One Small Step because it is a much shorter title.
Yes.
Um,
It seemed like I didn't want people to have to feel like they needed to delete their browser history just because they got this title as a
Again,
no.
not here to judge. I don't believe you can see it in OBS, but I am currently just saving this as a WAV,
Mm,
which is if anybody is particularly interested in the technical elements, most of the projects I work with prefer to use WAV as opposed to MP3. I think the reason for that is something to do with its audio fidelity, so there's more data being captured
the same
as
thing,
opposed
yeah.
to MP3, which is a bit more compressed, which just means that it's a lot more easy for them to edit it and remove things, blend things together. Um, so I just go with that, and also I've specifically got a tutorial for like how the Audacity, such a like really basic, absolutely free program. Um, there is an Audacity team wiki or wiki
Ooh.
blog thing. It literally has a whole thing on audiobook mastering, including like plugins you can add, all the steps you take. And it's very simple. It's just yeah, I want to make sure it recommends having things in the .wav format. Um, your friend's an absolute audiophile. Let you consult him real quick. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I think if you tell him you're using Audacity, he may scream, but I'm cheap. Um,
That's
right.
so
Anyway,
valid, though. I was talking to some voice actors
he's the guy from deleted
the
browser
other
history. Hmm?
he's the guy from deleted browser history, yes. I was talking to a voice actor the other day about I think they were using Reaper or something, and I was like, is Reaper good? Oh, Reaper's not free, never mind.
I mean, apparently Reaper is. To be honest, you
Like
can get
I've
Reaper for free, but the requirements for it being free is, I don't know. It's like it can be free, but you can only like record for a certain amount for certain projects up to a certain amount, and only in the third
mm,
moon of Jupiter. I'm just like, you know what? I am.
yeah, I was just like, I don't need to invest in something fancy if Audacity is a thing.
I think the thing is, like, there are probably elements with Reaper and other more advanced pieces that are actually paid for, which are not specifically which are good when you are editing things like music, or you're
Mm.
editing multiple voice lines, or you're kind of like doing a full soundscape. But until I find that myself, I'm not good. As a voice actor, I have never, all I need to do is record a thing and produce a WAV.
Mhm.
As an audiobook actor, all I need is to record a thing and edit a single line of edit down a single line of dialogue. I'm not needing to blend or mix or so. Until I find a specific use case for the paid options, I'm probably going to just stick with Audacity.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's my policy. Anyway, here's the scary thing. Audio track. Farewell. And now we start again. I can see it on my thing. Look, I can even bring it back. Division.
Come home, little Wav. Come
Anyway,
home.
let me see.
Yes, there it is.
And we can just hear it play. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't
I
step
don't
on
think
me.
we're getting the
By
sound.
Leica.
Unless it's going straight to the
Read
stream.
by Loxley. It is going straight to
I
the
do
stream.
have the. Oh, perfect. Okay, I have that tab muted.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just to prove that is there. I have a virtual
All
instruments
right.
really cost a few kidneys. I believe you.
Ooh,
I
that
have no
sounds
idea. I've never used
terrifying.
virtual instruments, but I would believe you. Anyway, let's go for chapter 2. Chapter 2: The Ties That Bind. Starting locations in this new world were, to the best of my knowledge, determined by class. A gladiator would begin in the arena, for instance, and their basic quest line would involve working towards freedom. As for the lackey, though, I didn't know what. As for the lackey, though, I didn't know what in the world I could be promoted into, let alone what strange promises my future might hold. Did I promote into having lackeys of my own, or would I be for- or would I be for- or would I be forced to become some sort of figurehead-obsessed zealot? Almost more importantly, would my attentions to be Did I add that too, or did you? Almost more
Uh
importantly, would my intentions to be transferred to someone at random?
oh no, it should be just B, not
Yeah,
to be.
I figured. I just wanted to
Yeah,
check.
that was a big old typo on my part.
All good. Almost more importantly, would my attentions be transferred to someone at random? Or would I have a choice of who my servile attitude would be applied to? Or would I have a or would I have a choice of who my servile attitude applied to? Or would I have a choice of who my servile or would I have a choice of who my servile attitude would be applied to? Okay, there you go. There's the missing word.
Words. Yay.
A twisted sort of enthusiasm blazed in my stomach. As my consciousness began to fuse with my new body, I even felt a little nauseous. It was a unique talent of mine, getting excited and making myself sick at the same. It was a unique talent of mine, getting excited and making myself sick in the same breath. Look alive, a gruff voice barked. If you miss today's ceremony, you're shit out of luck. Is that coming through clearly enough? I want to just check.
Yeah, I think so.
So we can zoom in on this a little bit. Because it's the trouble with making sure everything is very clear.
Hmm.
Look alive, a gruff voice barked. If you miss today's ceremony, you're shit out of luck. A beastman with the pointed. A beastman with the. Do you prefer beastman or beastman?
No strong preference because I mean they're beast men, they're beast. Like the plural seems weird, but it sounds normal.
To be honest,
So
it's not really the plural. It's just a different.
it's true.
It's
Yeah,
um
I think it sounds better than beastman.
beastman. A beastman
I
with the
think. I think.
pointed ears and docked tail of a Doberman. Point. Oh, okay.
Oh, that. Oh, that's the word pointed twice. No.
No. It's not even that. It's more. To be honest, it's more. The tail is the tail pointing to the.
No, I
No,
realized
it's
that.
fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. I'm more
he's
just.
pointing, but his tail isn't pointing because
Again,
it's
read
not
this
even pointed.
afternoon, but again, but it's a very different effect when you're actually speaking it aloud for the first time. A beastman with the pointed ears and docked tail of a Doberman pointed towards the far end of the room, where others had begun to kneel in front of a throne. Words appeared in front of me. Quest, the ties that bind. It looks a lot like the text from. It looks a lot like the text from the VR. It looks a lot like the text from the VR controls, actually. I guess the system had fused with my consciousness to give me a sort of advantage in this world, just like it might for a real protagonist. Menus seem to open and close based on one's focus with no need for any motion-sensitive controls. Good. I'd hate to think what another sneeze. Good. I'd hate to think what another sneeze might do. Focusing on the ties that bind, I was able to see a definition of the quest. Requirements included lackey, level 1, and master, none. I shook my head, trying not to think about any of its implications, and instead focused on looking around. The room we were in was spacious and luxurious, but the torches along the wall burned with blue flame that made me feel uneasy. Don't like that, Reed. The room we were in was spacious and luxurious, but the torches along the wall burned with blue flame that made me feel uneasy. Good guys didn't live with blue fire. Sure enough, the figure on the throne did not appear good by any stretch of the imagination. He was absolutely another demon. He had 2 golden horns, more straight than spiraled, sticking out of messy blue hair. From his posture and the way his eyes roamed the room, not once looking at his subordinates, one might guess he was bored. In fact, he sighed loudly. My lord, the Doberman exclaimed. Please, pay attention or the spell won't take. Let's get on with it then, he answered laconically. Just like the others were doing, I got down on one knee. Leather boots squeaked gently as the Demon Lord got up. Kiss them, the Demon Lord would surely say in a voice that left no room for compromise. My breath would catch in my throat, but I'd listen to him. I was here to be his lackey after all, and that meant his word was my law. He would become my master. Oh God! Would this demon expect me to simper and grovel before him, or simply obey him without a word to the contrary? Would there be punishments for disobeying? Would he deliver them himself, or would he rely on his right-hand beastman? I would shift onto both of my knees for better balance, hitting the hard floor without a single care, and keep my balled fists resting on my thighs as I bend down to press a kiss to the black boot. as I bend down to
It's
press a...
future tense. I'm sorry.
No,
The
no,
the italics don't get conveyed as well in.
sorry. If I stop and start a bit again, it is not down to the writing. It is down to me hearing what I'm saying and being
Mm-hmm.
unhappy with the delivery.
Okay.
And so it is not a reflection on your writing. It is absolutely just me not hearing what I'm saying and being like, I think I could do better. I'm either going too fast or I'm not. I'm there's a weird. I'm kind of rolling two words into one. So it is
Okay.
not a reflection on your writing. It is very much um, just me kind of hearing myself and directing myself, but in my head as I go.
Gotcha.
Please rest assured on
Hmm.
that. I would shift onto both of my knees for better balance, hitting the hard floor without a single care, and keep my balled fists resting on my thighs as I bend down to press a kiss to the black boot. The smell of the leather would overpower me just slightly, so I'd have to stop for a moment to keep myself calm. He put a hand in my hair and yanked it none too gently to remind me of my place and what I was supposed to... See, it's that kind of slight slur in
Yeah,
what I was like. I can instantly hear it. That's why I'm stopping.
it's all good. It's all good.
He put a hand in my hair and yanked it none too gently to remind me of my place and what I was supposed to be doing, as if I'd need help remembering that. So I'd kiss it again and again until he'd huff with scorn. He probably wouldn't be expecting someone to enjoy it so much. Then he'd lift his foot up and press it down on my shoulder. Open your eyes. A gentle voice interrupted my fantasy. The demon lord lifted my chin with a finger, and I swear to my dear departed Watase sensei that I almost drowned in his golden eyes. At such close quarters, I could hear and feel each breath he took. The warmth that radiated from this singular being was unreal. What was his name? How on earth should I address him? I tried to speak. My mouth opened and closed, but no words came. It's okay, the demon lord said. Let's seal the pact. Kiss it. My heart thundered in my ears. Before I could sink down lower to his boot, he held his hand out before me. For a moment, confusion overtook me. Then, a figurative light bulb appeared over my head. Right. Kissing a hand to swear fealty. That was normal. I could do normal. I swear. Please believe me. God, his hand was so warm. God, his hand was so warm. With this kiss, you are bound to my service, he intoned. The magic surrounded me in sparkling, shimmering waves. Words flashed in front of me. Quest, the ties that bind is now complete. Class skill unlocked. Absolute obedience. I had to be reading that wrong, though. There was no way guys like me... There was no way. Guys like me, we never got that lucky. Our fetishes were just shoved under the rug, never to be spoken of, never given any kind of incredible spotlight. Our fetishes were things to be mocked, and appropriately so, since scorn gave us that much more excitement. I couldn't remember a time in my life that I hadn't been into weird shit, and my love of the fantasy genre had only given my imagination more and more creative out... And my love of the fantasy genre had only given my imagination more and more creative outlets for my endless series of daydreams. Of course, I also couldn't recall a time I'd ever been able to accept myself for who I was, or any time I'd ever trusted another person to do the same. I had never had a single boyfriend or girlfriend in the entirety of my human life. Now arise. Before I could think about it, strength flooded through me, and I obeyed. moving faster than my body was accustomed to. The demon lord held my arm, steadying me as I swayed. Holy shit. I would have to investigate and see exactly how this ability worked once I had a moment alone. Thank you for joining me, he said. I knew in that moment that I would surely die for him one day. Without another word, he advanced to the next underling. All in all, there were 4 of us. The others were a desire demon, one beastman with the features of a lynx, or was she a hellcat, and one bronze dragonkin. We were all reverently silent. The ceremony is complete, the demon lord said. I will be retiring to my chambers. Listen to Argos in my stead. With that simple instruction, he took his leave of us. It was all too strange. Without him, the room seemed duller, darker, colder. Even the flames of the mounted torches seemed dimmer. He was truly a fiery sun, the center of our universe. I had never felt such a fervent devotion to someone before. My life had been cursed by an appreciation for unconventional romance, so it seemed only natural that I was already falling for the demon lord. His position of power was terribly enticing, and his pervert potential was off the charts, though he didn't seem aware of any of it, carrying himself like a regular man. How much of these feelings were my absolute obedience skill? And how much of them were from my own damn heart? Sorry, didn't quite like that read.
I feel
Sorry,
like there's more stuff that I would change. Oh no. Don't
it's
don't
fine,
change
don't worry about it.
things. Don't change things on the fly. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I have that effect on people. It is that thing where instantly it's like, oh, I could have done this. I could have done this. How much of these feelings were my absolute obedience skill? And how much of them were from my own damn heart? I couldn't help but wonder what the technical details of that skill were, but I didn't have the time to investigate. Argos was talking. I couldn't help but pay attention. Welcome to Lord. Is it possible to have you a float too dry to be growly?
Oh, yikes.
It's fine. I just need a quick drink. Welcome to Lord Asdark's army. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Lord Asdark's army, he said. You will be allowed free reign of the castle, but you will spend most of your time in the barracks, on the training field, and then eventually on expeditions. I will take each of you to your rooms, and you may consider yourselves dismissed until morning. Muted grunts of acceptance were all we could muster. Each and every one of us seemed equally dazed in the aftermath of the binding ceremony. Although the beastman's words were ultimately kind, they didn't have the same wonderful heat, the same warmth that Lord Asdark's did. Apparently, I was already calling him Lord Asdark. I was sure there would be punishments for forgetting his title. And besides, have you ever imagined calling someone my lord or my king? They're terribly underrated terms of endearment. They're not cut and dry like master, and they have way more subtlety than... Argos cleared his throat. Are you going to stand there all day? He was holding the door for the... He was already holding the door for the others to leave the room. I ducked my head in apology and quickly followed. I will take your thoughts and praise now.
Seriously, that was wonderful. I'm like crying a little. I'm crying a little. Oh god, I would die for this protagonist.
Bless.
I just want him to be happy.
Yeah, again, I'm just gonna politely observe that. What was it? Hang on, there was a section here. Actually, I should stop this recording before I have give myself lots more to work with. Yeah, there was a particular the section Um, hang on. There was a specific section where I'm just like, your author insert is showing. Uh,
I know what it
ah,
is. You don't have to read it. You don't have to read it. It's
I
okay.
had to be reading that wrong. There was no way, guys. There was no way. Guys like me, we never got that lucky. Our fetishes were things to be
Oh,
mocked and appropriately so,
rest
since
in
scorn gave us that
pieces.
much more excitement.
Rest in pieces.
Yes, this is the paragraph. I couldn't remember a time that in my life that I hadn't been into weird shit, and my love of the fantasy genre had only given my imagination more and more creative outlets for my endless
I'm
series of
dying, please. I'm
daydreaming.
actually dead.
I mean, again, previous paragraph, appropriately so, since scorn gives that much more excitement. I'm not going to say this entire stream has just been indulging a humiliation kink, but if it has, that has possibly been a secondary outcome.
I just put my head on the couch. Flew back. Fuck.
Leica verbally destroyed by her own words. Rest in R.I.P. in
Absolutely
pieces.
decimated. Just completely decimated.
Yep, wrecked. There is nothing left. She is mere stardust now.
Oof. Uh, where's my? There we go. Uh,
Anyway, do you have any other thoughts?
um.
I've been speaking for. Actually, that was a slightly shorter chapter. That was only 15 minutes. Actually, I
Yeah.
think it wasn't so much that was a shorter chapter. I think I was fucking up less.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, not in the sense that. I mean, you had less of. There was less tripping
Yeah.
because the words were a little make more senser. Apparently, was what I was gonna say.
Mm.
Make more senser. You know.
Yep. That is classic English 101.
No, I honestly, it all sounded really good, and it only made me think that I need to do another pass of the track.
Do you realize that would be deeply inconvenient if I'm producing an
It would
audiobook for
be.
this?
It's perfect. It keeps me from second guessing.
Yeah, as I say, there is a degree to which I ad lib a lot when I'm doing audio drama, which is very permitted because like the script is not final and like no
Mhm.
script survives an encounter with
And
the
first contact.
first contact with the enemy slash voice actor.
Yep.
Sometimes they're one and the same. Um, but yeah, I feel like there does need to be a lot more holding to for an audiobook because obviously every writer is very distinct and like you're trying to voice all the characters but you're also
Hmm.
trying to make sure that the words and the intent are coming across because
Hmm.
I
He was
believe, as
holding the
far
door.
as I'm aware, that all I would assume that all your choices are deliberate.
Or completely accidental. Who
Yeah,
knows?
one of the two. Let me
Oh my
quickly
gosh.
save this. And then, you know what? I think we can roll straight into chapter 3. And then if we've got a bit of time, I might just kind of show off a little bit of the recording, the editing that I will do. Because the editing, it's convenient that I can do the editing at any point,
Hmm.
before or after I've done the line editing. Because that's kind of two stages. Is first you kind of get rid of all the bits where you've been talking, and then you get rid of all of the bits where you have or like talking in between or the silence, and then you kind of.
Honestly, I would love to see the editing now if you want to play with that a little bit.
I mean, as I say, I don't
Because I
think.
actually I was just about to type in Discord. Plans came up
Oh yeah, sure, that's
earlier
fine.
this morning that I
That is
forgot to
absolutely
tell
fine.
you I have to go within the hour.
Okay, that's not a
If
problem.
that's
So
okay.
when you say within the hour, do you mean in the next 5 minutes or the next hour and 5 minutes?
No. I need to let's see. Thinking. Thinking. Probably have about 20 minutes,
Okay,
if
well, we
that's
can
all
do that.
right.
Cool. I will. Let me just bring this in then, because it's actually kind of.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think it is interesting. So yeah, obviously, like this is. There's a few elements, so I might have to just cut out the various snaps. I mean, that it is convenient that I can just get rid of. I know I can get rid of this bit. Honestly, snapping my fingers around here was probably not as useful because I didn't like start. Like if there's a point where I could snap. Hey, everything between these snaps is useless. That's not
Oh, that
really
makes
what I've
sense.
got. But to be honest, it's mostly just I'm gonna have to listen through to the thing.
Mhm.
Any other main? Because right now what I'm looking for is just any major. Is that a snap? Anyway, that's a cough. Cool. For the vast majority of time, this will not be too much of an issue. But I think the this is my this. Do you know what? It's very weird when you start to recognize certain parts of your tempo in when it's in waveforms. I know
Oh,
this is me
wow.
laughing. I know this is me laughing.
Nice.
I just know I have a very staccato laugh in that way. And also my laugh is slightly louder than my normal talking voice. Let me see. Anything else that's major? I basically just because I think is that also laughing. Well, dragging. Well, it's not. It's just, but it is absolutely useless. I'm being very careful not to leave the thing cut because you can. One thing I do like with this is you can just put an incision there and then you can like do spacing like that. Um,
Oh, okay. There's
uh,
so much more functionality to Audacity than I realized.
there is, and to be honest, it's just one of these things that I've learned over time. Like if I want to, for example, and some of it is quite intuitive. Like if I do that and do backspace, then it will just remove it and kind of close it up. You can
Mhm.
also set it up in such a way that it will leave this amount of space between the things,
Oh,
even.
yeah, I literally just discovered it like yesterday. There's like a
Mhm.
mute audio somewhere, I
Oh
think.
yeah, it's over here. Or you can click solo
Oh,
to just if you've got like multiple
no, like
tracks.
I think it's the thing next to the magnifying glass,
Uh,
like up top.
oh, here.
No, whoa. Yeah.
I think the issue I'm facing is that there are multiple magnifying glasses in just this area alone.
Oh, that's true. The magnifying glass under the thing that is currently selected.
Oh, this one. That's just the
On
zoom
the
tool.
I don't know what's going on. I
It's
have no
fine.
idea what I'm talking about. Ignore
Don't worry
me.
about it. It's all good. I'm just checking everything's okay. I'm basically just going through to make sure
Mhm.
there's no like major peaks because I believe
Yeah.
right, right. Okay, that's actually a peak that's worth that I need to keep in there because I believe the editing I will be doing is going to be working off averages. Also, forever. Good. There we go. That's the last. That's the end of the chapter. So what I will do now, we'll just make it so I can see all of it because you can kind of see what's going on with this. That's absolutely fine. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, that is that. You know what? You know what? Loxley from the past. That is absolutely fine. Thanks for sharing. Um, So I actually do have a list of things to do. You can actually set this up as a macro with just
Really?
like an input. Yeah, there's a way to automate it. I'm going to just quickly send put this in chat if anybody's particularly interested. I am following this thread on support.audacity team, which just allows me to, which is about audiobook mastering. And it's all this is also what said, hey, get this plugin going.
Nice.
It also has like a really nice analysis thing, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to show up on stream. But there is like something I can use for ACX check. Okay, yeah. Give me
Hmm.
a sec. I will show that what that is. If I just grab this. So yeah, I have a. Where's just hang on. Do I just have a picture? I can just make a picture. No, not display capture. Image. That's what I want. So we pop that in. I need to save this. Balls. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Bah!
I'm losing what I'm doing. Basically, there is a thing that tells me there's something called the ACX check. ACX is an Audacity website that people can go to. It's quite good.
Ooh,
It allows you to put out requests for people to record audiobooks, and then those will go on to Audible. So there's various ways you can get involved in that. But they
that's
actually have
very
a
cool.
check. They actually have a checking plugin that you can put into Audacity. So currently, this is this what the one I've got is failing because it's just too quiet. It's way too quiet. But the audiobook mastering thing tells me how to do it.
Uh-huh.
So the first one I'm going to do. The trouble is, I'm not sure how easy. In fact, you know what? I'm going to quickly. Let me just. I'm going to change this from a. I need to make this screen capture. So let's. This is the riskiest thing. That's not window capture. Display capture. Oh, see, that's what you don't want to. That's what you don't want to happen.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we've disappeared too.
Yep, that's fine. I'm going to make this smaller. There we go. It's just because I added this as a new thing.
Oh, okay.
Because what I want is the ability to actually show what the
I'll
heck
duck
I'm
under the
doing.
window.
Yeah,
Can I duck under
yeah.
the window?
I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I should move that. I should move that back. Boop, 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 boop. Where are we? Oh, there's me, and there's you. Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
And then we'll just get rid of the other uh that one. There we go. Good. But yeah, so this now actually lets me show what is actually coming up on my screen and will let me show like the various analyzing bits.
Hmm.
I'm also not going to go into like any file or save because that's just terrifying because that is gonna just dox me.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I've got analyze. I've got this thing called ACX check. If I highlight everything, ACX check comes up. It's too low, maybe overly compressed or too quiet. That's absolutely fine. We can change that. The first
Hmm.
thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to. Uh, is it tools? Options? No. I want to go to effects. The first thing I want to do is do EQ and filters. And you can specifically adjust how the curves are applying. Where the hell is it? It's down here somewhere.
Oh, I keep hearing something too.
Keep hearing what?
I keep hearing something too.
No, I'm looking for a specific thing.
Oh, I thought you said you heard something. I was like, oh,
No,
I don't know,
I'm
because
looking.
I'm
Okay. So I
yeah.
want filter curve. I need to highlight this effect into filter curve, and now I want to go to manage. Yes,
Oh,
manage factory presets, and literally you just want low roll offs for speech. I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna listen to a section. We're gonna. So the thing is, what I tend to do is I do ad lib a bit. Why do I find? Hang on. There's an easy way we can do this. We can actually just listen to the first. What the? That's fine. We just listen to me introduction. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me. By Leica. Red. So now, if we do the effects, filter curve, factory presets, low roll of speech, and we apply that. Shouldn't take a second to do. I don't know if there's going to be a serious amount of change. No matter how much I beg, this demon
I didn't
lord
even
won't
see
step on
the
me.
waveforms get
By
bigger or
Leica.
anything.
Red. No, that's the next step.
Oh,
Because
okay.
now we are going to do. So that's just like making it because there are various changes you can do. Like there's factory presets for if you want more bass, if you want it to sound like it's on a telephone. This one's actually. Do you know what? We'll do this one quickly. This is actually quite a good cool. I've used this effect before. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me.
All right, I'm gonna have to unmute the stream window. And...
Oh, sorry. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me. By Leica. Read by Loxley. So yeah, that's how much I beg. There we go. That's back to how it was. So that's just back to low roll off. But yeah, that's kind of just a fun one to. Yeah, it's useful. It has its uses, but yeah, it just basically lets you kind of have certain presets put in. The next one we want is actually volume and compression. We want loudness normalization. There we go. We want the RMS to be normalized to minus 20 decibels. And that should be. We're not using. I'm not using a stereo channel because I don't record in stereo because there's never any reason. Because I don't have a stereo mic, or at least I don't have a mic that's set up to use stereo particularly. So this is a mono. There we go. So that's fine. There's a few instances, but again, you'll immediately hear. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me. By light. But you know what? Now we are going to apply a limiter. Limiter. It's going to be a soft limit. Input gain is going to be 0, 0, minus 3.5, 10. You might even almost even notice that I've got these set up immediately because I do this relatively frequently. But that just kind of limits everything a bit. It'll kind of flatten everything out a little bit. There we go. No matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me. By Leica. Read by Loxley. And instantly I'm hearing, like, my squeaky chair. Chapter 1.
No.
I think death's a bottom. I regarded the words and images before me as if they were coming from a sacred manuscript. Each perfectly... See, I can definitely hear there's some stuff that I'm going to have to record. Just to give a little bit behind the scenes, my wife was... no. Don't. Why are you over there? Go over there. My wife was doing some baking whilst I was recording this, so I can hear like her shuffling things around in the background, which is usually not a bad thing, but it does mean I'm gonna have to probably do a little bit of re-recording. But yeah, if I do now ACX check, everything's passing.
Oh.
So this is now for as far as the automatic checks on Audible are concerned, your this audiobook of your series is now absolutely ready for prime time. It's not because I need to fundamentally re-record a bunch of stuff and also edit it and everything else. But yeah, I think noise compliance is fine. There's no issue there. There's no other I actually there's definitely some elements like. Again, I think I can hear either myself or my wife just moving around in the background. Yeah, I mean, this is more stuff that I would listen to because I don't think it's going to be particularly interesting for me to edit all of this because, ultimately, I may have to, like, particularly this first one, I may need to re-record just in order to have the cleanest sound possible. But yeah, that is basically what I will do, and and
that is so cool. The
yeah,
audio editing
it's actually a
aspect
very
is
straightforward thing. Again, I may also ask. Oh, why have you done that? Go back. I may also ask some friends just to give it a pass because I know people who are very capable audio editors, including Kale and Minnow, my mods.
oh.
But yeah, I will be asking them for some additional insight because I feel they will be able to offer it pretty well. And yeah, because I don't want to give I want to get it as good as possible, and they will have some insights like what this is something that's going wrong. This is something you need to edit. This is something you need to adjust. So yeah, I will definitely do this. My plan is to record all of the chapters you have currently recorded and get them to you. I will say, currently, I'm well, amongst other things. One, I have a kid on the way. Two, I'm
Oh,
currently in preparation for getting an ADHD assessment in the new year. After that, I really hope that I'm going to be more with it in terms of everything. But yeah, I do.
mm.
I also have like I have another friend's fan fiction that I read for them about a year
Oh,
ago, and I have never come back and actually edited it.
oh
Like
gosh.
line edited it. It's again, I've now told people if I've said I'm going to give you a thing and I've not given it to you, please kick me because oh my god,
I feel that
it's
totally.
like it's not malicious. It's not anything like that. It's just that I can't remember that you're waiting for it until I suddenly remember, until I'm suddenly in a situation where I can't do anything with it, and then I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I just get to sit here and feel guilty now.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
honestly, I think I need to try to get an ADHD assessment too. So you're in good company.
yeah, it does seem to be like every VTuber I've spoken to,
Yeah.
it has been like either oh I'm in the middle of getting one as well, or oh I got one like 5 years ago, and yeah it was rough. I think that's probably also the thing was like, wow, I've suddenly found, wow, it's so good when I have like scheduled times to play games and people who are engaged with what I'm doing. I'm because it means I sit down and actually finish game. How did I not spot this years ago? No, no, really, how the hell?
Things were different.
So they tell me. Anyway. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. My aim is I'm not gonna guarantee this is gonna be ready for Christmas but this is technically your Christmas present.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
Also,
That's
you've
that's
not
that's cool.
released the rest of the book yet,
Yeah.
so that would be somewhat difficult. And yeah, you are welcome to do whatever you wish when I have finished this audio. If you wish to put it on either your YouTube channel or like release it through podcasts, or I don't know if Tapas or Royal Road
I don't
have
know
the
if this has
capacity
an
for
audio
hosting
feature, but
audiobooks. If they
I will
don't, that is
definitely look
definitely a
into
thing
it.
they should look into because yeah, honestly, I think this is a people. I think people like hearing audiobooks. I think there is an increasing
Definitely.
market for it, and some people who want to read this kind of internet fiction will probably also be not necessarily have the capacity to read. And obviously you can get screen readers. I'm not sure how well they work with Tapas, considering I could not highlight anything on that
Oh
website.
God, yeah, that was fun to
um
find out.
yeah,
They're
I'm sorry, I was trying to
yeah.
copy and paste to get my own markdown set up before the stream, and then suddenly I'm like, why is this just like an image? What the hell? Why is the actual story not highlightable?
Their editor for copying and pasting stuff is also a little wonky. Not in like a terrible way, just in a like it doesn't support a lot of like I had to manually italicize everything.
Oh god,
And when you have large sections of inner monologue, it's impossible.
that's a goddamn nightmare.
I am very patient sometimes.
You would have to be. My lord. Why would you do that to yourself? I mean, I could absolutely understand why you just use Royal Road exclusively, frankly. I kind of,
Yeah.
God, I
Yeah.
really hope. God, I feel slightly bad for saying to somebody on Blue Sky, "Hey, Leica uses tapas."
I
Um,
mean, it's fine. Like it's good if you don't italicize. That's about it. No, it works really well for certain types of fiction, and I
mhm,
think the person you recommended it to would probably have a good time with it. Because I think they tend to write romance for too.
that makes sense. That is fair. So I know that you have to head out, but I'm going to give you a quick shout out again. Please do go
You.
and uh, follow Leica. She is wonderful. I have gone to some of her streams recently, and she plays. I don't I know nothing about Fate, but I have enjoyed just hanging out, being part of her community. It is you know it's very chill there. I highly
Thank
recommend.
you.
Also, go check out her work. Her series. Uh, no matter how much I beg, this demon lord won't step on me. Is currently being serialized on both Tapas and Royal Road. Again, potentially, we're having a maybe go do Royal Road instead of Tapas. Um,
Yeah, I mean, once I feel like it's not gonna get anywhere in the contest because I'm not gonna finish enough material to qualify for the contest, so I might as well put it back on Royal Road.
I mean that's fair. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I've actually been reading the next couple of chapters. I'm really enjoying some of the characters that are coming up. Like the mouse general is really fun. I'm
Love
looking
that
forward
mouse.
to voicing her. I'm also really just looking forward to seeing how like the whole thing pays off, because obviously like
Hmm.
we're getting a lot about the to be honest, it reminds me very much of Overlord in terms of it being
Oh my
like
god, that's my primary inspiration. Not kidding.
fun. It's yeah, but
Oh
it's
my
really nice to
gosh.
have like rather than
Oh,
being
oh,
the
that's. Oh, yeah. Like I want to be like a goofier, way goofier Overlord.
yeah, it's to be honest, it's very much actually now that I realize it, strictly speaking, this is what you have done is you have written Overlord, but the protagonist um isekai'd into one of the two demon generals who want to jump the Overlord's literal bone.
Yes.
No, it's not
Yes.
Alucard, is it? Uh,
What's his face? God, I was just thinking about Overlord the other day, and I'm.
oh yeah, there you go. You have written Overlord, but the main character has isekai'd into Albedo.
Yes.
That is it.
Yes. Although I feel like his personality defects are more like Sheltier.
Oh, almost certainly.
And I say the word defect lovingly, I swear.
No, absolutely. Again, we're not going to dwell on quite how much um, projection is involved in this character. It would be
Oh my
mean,
gosh.
and also, frankly, if we dwelt on it too much, it just might, like I might just start enjoying it.
I might die. It's true. I might just spontaneously combust.
All good, all good. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I will do more readings of audiobooks. I'd be interested to know what people have thought of this because it's been a lot of fun. Um,
Oh,
I like it. Like the thing is, I as I said earlier in the stream, my absolute passion is voice acting, and VTubing is very much an extension of that.
hmm.
I really love, you know, I have that weird person who is blessed with the apparent superpower of actually loving the sound of my own voice.
Aw, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
I'm jealous.
and I like the sound of my own voice. I like to be. I think from what I have found, I am pretty good at conveying characters and speaking very clearly, which is also very helpful. Um, and I really love the medium of audiobooks. So honestly, like if people want me to read their audiobooks or read their fan fiction, I'm gonna put a very strong caveat. I will read fan fiction that you can provably demonstrate is yours. I will not read any fan fiction because I'm not going to be party to mockery. I really want to celebrate people's work,
Yeah.
not like I'm not here to mock. I'm here. I am reading Leica stuff because I have read it and I really enjoyed it and I wanted to share it with people and I wanted to put it into a version of it that I would enjoy using myself. Um,
Mhm.
but yes, I am available to read in audio dramas, audiobooks, um, random things, birthdays, bar mitzvahs. I don't know. Uh, But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed I enjoy the
This
story. I
was this was
enjoy.
amazing. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like ultimately, yeah, that is what I wanted, was for this to be a positive experience for you. Um, and yeah, whatever whenever I get this done, which hopefully first few months of 2024. What the fuck is time?
Oh, time
Um,
is fake.
yeah.
Time is so fake.
Oh, we're in the future,
Oh my
apparently.
god.
You think we'd be able to resolve a lot of lot of the problems, but no. We've rolled one of the
Nope.
we've rolled one of the dystopias.
Yep.
Anyway, um, yeah, I've enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun. Please do come back either for me to read more of your stuff,
Absolutely.
or just to play board games. Also fun.
Hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is. Do you have anything you would like to plug? Do you have anything you would like to say? Do you have anything?
Um,
Do words. Do
do
things.
word things. Do word things. Uh, I got nothing. I got nothing. I'm so happy. Like this was so cool. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And as I say, like, please do. If I don't have this to you, well, one, finish the damn thing. Write the write the
Yes.
like.
Will do.
There is part of the like. I can say I will have this finished by, but it's like, actually no. I can finish up to chapter 5 currently, but
Yes.
yeah, finish the story. And when it is finished, like, to be honest, if all is going well, my hope is that I will continue to. I could probably read, record, and edit it in a fairly short time after a new one is posted.
Mm.
Um, Alternatively, when it is finished, I will just do the whole thing, and we will work out how best to release it. That will largely be your choice as to how that goes. But I will also keep people abreast on Blue Sky as to how things are going, and if there is a particular interest in watching me edit, it will just be line editing, which is, I don't think, is necessarily going to be the most interesting thing, but I'll consider it. Then yeah, I will. Please do let me know. Um, I have a general tradition on this channel where if I am hosting a collab, I ask my collab partner, is there anybody you would like to raid?
Oh man. I'm not sure. Ah.
Okay, well, I probably
If you
could have let you know that, but I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to blither anyway, so it's not a problem.
Mhm.
Ah, dear me.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hmm.
Um, decisions are hard.
It's absolutely fine. Like, I can raid somebody else
I I
myself, but
would I would probably rather if you chose someone.
that is
Just
absolutely fine. No
yeah.
problem at all. You know what? You know what? Somebody I just started following. Again, I'm finding more people on Blue Sky
Mm.
recently, which I think is a really nice thing about that particular platform, is like I'm
I
just
gotta get
finding people
my
I've never
attention
found
span
on.
on that one.
Huh?
I gotta get my attention span back on Blue Sky.
I'll be honest, just I just uninstalled Twitter. Literally, the only reason I've opened Twitter in the last month has been to message you.
Oh my god. Well, I'll hit you up on Discord more often.
Yes, please do. Sorry, I'm not trying to bully you into using a
No,
different
it's all
messaging
good.
system, but like, I would love to
I
not
need
have to
to.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there is somebody called Level Up Lumi, who is a Kobold VTuber, who's had like who I kind of went in and was talking, having like a really interesting conversation about gender identity and her personal journey with that. She's
Cool.
playing Dragon Quest Monsters, but yeah, I would kind of like to raid into her because why not? I know she's also just recently launched her new blue VTuber group, Positive VT, which is just a really good pun. I appreciate it. It's fun.
That sounds very wholesome.
Yeah, she's a delight. So yeah, we're gonna go and raid into her, and yeah, I hope that if she accepts the raid, of course. But yeah, I hope that you will enjoy her and say and say hello.
Mhm.
But yes, in the meantime, do you have a sign off that you'd like to do?
Um, I got very little sign off ability. I just kind of I cry a little, just a little. I
Okay,
was like, "Thank you so much for being here. Oh my
right. Go
god."
follow the Star Dog. She's fun. I like her. Um, And in the meantime, I have been Loxley. Please do join me during next week. We will be playing more Dicey Dungeons and also Hades. Probably working out the balance between those two. Probably Dicey Dungeons on Tuesday and Thursday, and then Hades on Saturday, because Saturday night is all right for fighting. Yes, I do like that pun.
Ah.
Um, in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure streaming for you. I'm Loxley, Sailor of Strategy, the Capring Card Shark, the board game goat, audiobook narrator extraordinaire. Thank you very much for watching, and ta